somehow it's already the end of the hockey season, and somehow
Sadly.
playoffs are coming up, which is insane that it's May and playoffs are starting now when we would normally be like 2 rounds in by now.
Oh yeah.
Weird.
But
Anyway,
we have hockey. That's what matters. We've made it
have
to
hockey.
the end of the regular season. All 82 games have
It
been
took
played for every team.
fucking forever, but we made it, and this is up the boards. My name's Yusuf,
I'm Tyler.
and this is a fun year to be a hockey fan, man.
Oh yes.
This is a dangerous year to be a hockey fan. Today's episode is just going to be talking about the first round. We're not going to make our entire predictions for the playoffs because anything could happen at this point. Literally anything.
Yep.
The whole state of Florida might just catch on fire tomorrow. We don't know.
Yep.
We'll find out. Cool. Tyler, where do we want to start? West or East?
Let's start with the West.
Okay.
That seems smart, right?
I think so. Yeah. Okay, let's do that.
All right.
Now the question is, which playoff series do we start with? Do we start with the inevitable or the ones we kind of are coin flip about?
I think we just go up the order of standings. So we'll start with the worst team, which would be the Predators.
That would indeed be the Nashville Predators. Yep. That's so funny that you have that.
Well, best $5 I've ever spent, man.
That's the best part.
Well, if Yusuf Saros is out, we're host.
Which he apparently is potentially going to be out for the first 2 games.
It's been kind of radio silence down here from everything where I've seen. Like, no one has said anything.
At this point, that's bad news. So
it's really bad news. Yeah,
that's really bad news. And by the way, who's their opponents again?
The lovely Colorado Avalanche, which is going to be
incredibly dangerous. Colorado Avalanche.
Oh, I'm excited, dude. So I got tickets to Game 3.
We're nice.
Lower bowl, right behind the Predators' goal. So I'm going to see some sweet goals from the freaking Avs. Like, they're going to be beautiful. If Saros plays, it'll be 5 or 6 games.
Yeah.
If Big Save Dave's in,
it's a sweep.
And like, I think we'll get a couple goals on Kemper because still not sold on the whole Kemper experiment. But like, if we have Saros, I think it'll be interesting. If we don't have Saros, we're host. Like, that's as easy as that is.
I think back to I think like a month ago it was when I want to say it was Colorado playing, I think Edmonton or something like that. But they went to a shootout. Darcy Kemper had 56 saves on 57 shots. Yeah. And all I remember is you texting me after that game happened, and your exact words were, Darcy Kemper just told both of us to personally fuck off.
I agree, but I also think the more I keep watching him as of late, it's not been as consistent as it was.
Right.
And I think there's been a couple of standout performances, such as that game, but like the other night he lost in a shootout.
Yeah. So
it's like
little things.
Yeah, it's like to an actual team, which actually had David Riddick in that, ironically. So
yeah, I think realistically everyone is accepting that even if UC Saros does end up playing in the playoffs, it might go to 5, maybe 6 games. I don't think it's going to 7.
Colorado's winning.
Colorado's out on a warpath right now.
Yeah,
and they will do everything in their power to win.
Yeah, they're tired of being second place. They want to.
Yeah.
So that was easy.
Yeah.
So what would be next then? Look at us being so prepared.
Dallas
it would be
and Calgary.
Well, let's keep this really easy. 5 games. Calgary?
Yeah. It has to be Calgary.
I think maybe Dallas steals one.
I was listening to Steve's podcast, and they were talking about the Flames and how like low-key good they've been the whole year. And for some reason, despite their incredible success under Daryl Sutter this year, it hasn't been like really praised as much as it should have been during the regular season.
Yeah, I agree. They definitely started off better than they finished, I would argue. but they've been very good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I will say if Markstrom is hurt, they're dead.
Yeah.
No, that if Markstrom, they're screwed.
They're done.
Yeah,
and that's the thing, considering Calgary's defensive end isn't something to praise or talk about, really. It's not like it's like, elite tier,
but it's not bad though.
No, but Markstrom has been incredible, the first half of the season, and kind of got shaky in the second half, but picked himself back up, which is fine.
And Johnny Hockey is actually Johnny Hockey again, which is just beautiful.
That first line scares me.
Which is crazy because they still don't have Monahan.
I know.
Like
the fact that
gotta love it.
What is the number? I think it's like between Gaudreau, Mangiapane, Lindholm, and Matt Tkachuk, the four of them combined have like 200 something goals.
Dude, Mangiapane is low-key filthy and does not get the respect about it.
He doesn't, and it's crazy that he's their second line.
Dude, I love that, man. I thought he was a fantastic player for so many years, and he keeps getting overlooked.
They all have an average plus minus of, I think it's like plus 50. The four of them is the average plus minus.
It's fun.
Two of them have 100 points. Gaudreau and Matt Tkachuk. Matt Tkachuk has 100 points this season.
Dude, they've been good.
They've been really good.
Quietly good.
Yeah. And they're fitting everything. Like, okay, they genuinely do remind me of the 2010 era's LA Kings.
Oh, for sure.
Exactly what Daryl Sutter wanted. They're fitting everything Daryl Sutter wants. And it's terrifying me.
Yeah. Dude, they've been great. Like, I honestly, I'm not convinced Colorado is the best team in the West, to be totally honest with you.
I like me, Kadri and Mac, but like,
Calgary is fun. I'm still not like honestly convinced Colorado is as epic as people think, but that's subject to debate.
I think part of me, the argument with Colorado quickly is that they are like on paper, when everyone is healthy on that roster, not counting goaltending, but you're just looking at forward depth and defensive end, and then you look at their depth chart, it is just on paper one of the most terrifying rosters you would ever see.
I agree. But you said the key word though.
Goaltending.
Yeah, and that's
yeah.
Yeah.
And no hate to Darcy Kemper at all. It's just Colorado.
He looks a lot better because of what those guys in front of him.
Yeah, it helps when your fucking top three defensemen in front of you are Cale Makar, Devon Toews, and Sam Girard.
Yeah, like it's pretty. It makes life a lot easier for him.
Yeah, it really does. But anyways, that's a whole other thing we can get into later. So Calgary in 5, I guess.
Yeah,
I think Dallas can sneak one win.
I agree. I don't think anyone's getting swept this year. I'll be pretty honest about that outright.
Okay. Yeah.
Which I guess leads us to our actual Pacific divisional game, which would be the LA Kings versus the Edmonton Oilers. So I'll let you go first.
Ah, damn it. Okay.
Because I actually have a very interesting thoughts on this one.
Okay. So every now and then, there's reason to believe that if your team goes on a bit of a heater, you lose that momentum going into the playoffs. And if you suck all of a sudden going into the playoffs, you're going to rip everyone into shreds and somehow sweep your way through 2 rounds or something like that. I don't know. Here's the thing with the Oilers. The Oilers have been scoring a fair bit, which is good. And then they kind of regressed a tiny bit in the last couple of games before the season was over. But there was one tiny little outlier that I did not notice until someone mentioned it on Twitter, that Mike Smith has been balling the fuck out.
Dude, Mike Smith is great. Everyone gives him so much shit. Dude, he gets so much flack. I want the guy to win a cup so badly. Because
now I am very scared that Edmonton might be able to win this series.
The problem is there's another outlier. It's a man that has caused me emotional damage. It has caused the rest of my family emotional damage because his name is Jonathan fucking Quick. And this man just is like, oh yeah, playoffs. All right, cool. Let's just build a wall and life's good.
Jonathan Quick's like, playoffs? Oh man, I better dust off my Conn Smythe trophy.
Dude, and he like, what was it like this month? He was like the player of the week or something. I think he just had player of the week or player of the month. It's like, something well, like great.
Like, yeah, it's bad.
He's like 3-0-0 with like a 972. It's like, oh, lovely. Oh, yeah, it's player of the week. How's it? And it's like, yeah, great. He's excited. He wants to get back in there.
No. This might be like,
it's gonna be a fun series because it's like the Kings are like so young and fast, and the Oilers are McDavid and Draisaitl and Hope,
and randomly Evander sometimes.
Oh yeah,
don't forget about him.
I forgot he was a thing.
Yeah, well, he had a hat trick not too long ago. So
yeah, I know.
Yeah, crazy. But this is what I love about this year's playoff matchups is there's at least 2 or 3 series I look at where I'm like, oh, this could actually be anyone's game, and I'm fine.
I don't think there's a bad series.
No, there isn't. This is a really good year.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be good.
This is, despite like weird things happening this season and like how things have lined up. Oh my god, this is gonna be fucking exciting.
Oh, fantastic playoffs.
Okay, so
a lot of new teams, which is good.
Yeah, look, I really want a Battle of Alberta second round because that might cause the death of actual people. I think the Oilers are gonna do it in 6 games.
I'm thinking Kings in 7.
Oh,
I'm thinking Kings in 7. Let's get fun.
All right. I don't know, man. I really don't know.
Which leads us to the Central Division.
This is the matchup I looked at where I'm like, I genuinely don't know who's gonna win.
So I was talking to a Blues fan at the last game I was at down here, and they were pretty brutally honest. They said if Binnington is in, Minnesota in 5. If Binnington is not in and Husso is in, Blues in 7. Which I thought was a very interesting statement.
I agree.
I was like, that's pretty reasonable, actually.
That is incredibly reasonable because
Binnington's been bad.
No, I don't have I should have the Binnington bias considering he is from my hometown, and there is a sign outside of our town, outside of our city limits, that actually says "Home of Stanley Cup winning champion fucking Jordan Binnington" and all that. But
Marc-Andre,
if there's anything we've learned about Jordan, he has a temper.
A little bit.
He got really lucky in 2019. I think it was just his anger boosting his confidence that just fueled him somehow.
Yeah.
I agree. Not wanting to go down to the ECHL and being like, you're calling me up or I'm not fucking reporting down to E. And Ville Husso's just been better.
Yeah. And
way better.
But on the flip side, you have a guy who's, at the beginning of the season was contemplating retiring, and now has already stated that he wants to keep going, and is an absolute legend.
9-1 since getting traded to Minnesota.
I think it's 9-1. It's either 9-1-1 or 9-1. I think it's 9-1-1. And I actually could tell you who both the. Oh yeah, it's just 9-1. That's right. It's just it's 9-1 because they won in overtime.
Yeah.
Because that was the only loss. Actually, this is my useless fun fact.
Yeah. True. Oh, that's right.
I was at the game, man.
That's right. You read that game. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how to put this nicely to people because a lot of people are calling for St. Louis to win. Again, I don't know how to explain this to you. Marc-Andre Fleury is 9-1.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's also like the 3rd overall in wins, which that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And as far as everything else goes, I'd say. Oh my god. Okay, I will get to this in a second, but they're airing the Stanley Cup playoff commercials on Sportsnet, like getting ready for tomorrow, and they're talking about the Leafs, and all I saw to the corner of my eye was Dangle crying in a corner, and I'm like, oh no, Steve. We'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so St. Louis and the Minnesota Kaprizovs.
So I'm gonna go Flower in 6. I think that's the right answer.
I think Minnesota in 7.
Okay.
I could see a situation where the Blues do win, but they have to keep Ville Husso A, healthy, and B, keep him as the starter.
I think
Jordan Binnington throws a hissy fit that he's not starting in the playoffs, trade him.
Who is actually? When do they play? They play tomorrow.
Tomorrow. No.
Yeah, we'll find out who they start. And here's the thing: if they start Husso, I have a lot more faith in them. If they start Binnington, they're going to go 0-2, and that's going to put them in a hole. Yeah.
Who has home ice advantage for that? St. Louis?
No. Minnesota.
Minnesota have home ice?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's I wouldn't want to go into Minnesota.
No.
That sounds not fun.
So let's say Minnesota.
Okay. So that takes us to the lovely East.
You mean the 100-point plus East?
Yeah, the 100-point club.
Yep.
Which,
by the way, can we just talk about how fucking legitimately terrible?
Oh yeah, dude, it's incredible.
That's insanity that all 8 teams in the playoffs have 100 points.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's not stressful at all if you have a team in the East that you care about.
Not at all. Yeah.
So I guess we'll start with Washington, Florida, because
I think Florida in 5.
Yeah. So to quote my friend, my one friend's a diehard Caps fan. He's the one who's done all the skating competitions and stuff. Yeah. So he was talking to me. He was like, he was like, if Ovi is, not doing the OV thing of scoring, we're hosed, because their second leading goal scorer for the Capitals this year was, any guesses? Any guesses at all?
Tom Wilson.
Last time I checked, you were correct. Yeah. Which is terrifying, because it's Tom Wilson. Oh, him and Kuznetsov are tied at 24.
Okay. Who has more assists?
I mean, Kuzi, obviously.
Kuzi, yeah, I figure. But
but after that, they have a huge drop off in goals.
That's not good.
Yeah. So if Ovechkin does the typical Ovechkin things and kind of struggles early on in the playoffs, they're dead.
Yeah.
I think Florida still has the lovely question mark of if Bob or Spencer are going to be good enough to carry a playoff team, but they got this far, so they have to do something right? I
think what Florida might do, just because Washington's not a crazy offensive threat to them, they're not going to have to worry about too much with the Capitals offense. All they got to do is shut down Ovi and Kuznetsov. That's not hard.
It's not rocket science.
It's not rocket science. That's only 2 guys, and
the Capitals defense is abysmal.
Capitals defense is abysmal. If they want to handle Tom Wilson, Claude Giroux is there,
or
Giroux or Joe Thornton
or Gudas.
Yeah, or Recco. Like they have plenty. They have plenty of.
Florida is going to win.
Yes, Florida will win, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts. I don't see a situation where the Washington somehow manages to win that series from just sneaking up on them. So what I'm thinking Florida could do is potentially start Spencer. Give him that little playoff, little experience that he needs besides what he had last year. Let the defense do their jobs, yada, 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 and then finish the job off with Bob.
Well, Ekblad could return for game 1 against the Capitals.
Oh, the Capitals are fucked. They're absolutely
Ovechkin
fucked.
Will play.
Okay.
That's news. But
then Florida will have their entire defensive core healthy.
Yeah.
That is something you don't want to deal with. Florida is genuinely ready to try and win the Stanley Cup this year.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one.
That will be a fun one. So I'm going to say Panthers in 5.
I'm with you.
I kind of want to say it's going to be a sweep.
I'm not ready to commit to that yet. Ovechkin can get you a game of a goal. That's what matters.
He can. Yeah.
So
let's just agree on Panthers in 5 right now.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Okay. All right. Then we got Boston versus Carolina. Now, here's the thing. Anderson's a no-go for game 1.
Oh, dear.
And
is it going to be Ronta or is it going to be the other guy?
It's, I believe, Ronta. And then the other thing is Boston hasn't played them recently. So from what I remember, I think they played very early on in the season. That was it. So Boston has definitely gotten better over the course of the year. Their goaltending has kind of gotten weary as of late, but it kind of dipped, but it's kind of going back up. And Carolina's just good.
That's the thing, is Carolina's just really good.
I kind of want to say it's going to be 6, and I think it's going to be Carolina, but I wouldn't be shocked if Boston took it to 7.
The Bruins have been known, and everyone knows this, no matter where they finish in the standings, that when they get to the playoffs, there's some weird ass switch.
Yeah.
They just turn on in the TD Garden locker room, and they automatically become one of the toughest teams to beat.
And that I will say they have a lot of depth, and they have a lot of just. Yeah. I mean, if Swayman's not playing well, they have Allmark. Like they actually do have like methods to their weird madness. So
they do. And
so I could see it being 6 or 7. Is where it's going to be interesting.
Stupid Mike. I have reason to believe. I think Carolina can actually do it this year. I think they can best their demon of the Bruins. But I think it would take 6 games. Or I'm going to say Carolina in 7.
I think it's gonna be Carolina in 6 or 7. Okay. 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5. 6 and like a triple overtime. 6 and a double overtime.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot. I think it's gonna be a lot of overtimes.
There will more than likely be a lot of overtimes.
Oh yeah.
I don't see any. Oh, actually, I don't know, but yeah, Carolina Boston is gonna be one of those series where you kind of remember it's happening, but you forget it's there.
Yeah,
you're like, yeah, right. One of them has to kill each other. Yeah, so
yeah. It's gonna be nice. Yeah. So do you want to do which one do you want to do? I don't care. We can let's
do Rangers first.
Yeah, okay. So
I have a lot to talk about the other one.
Okay, so with Smith being named the starter because Jari is out with a lower body injury, I'm gonna go. I'm biased. So I don't think I should speak. You got this.
Rangers in 4 in overtime.
I was gonna say Rangers in like 5 or 6, but okay.
I think 5. I think 5 is the realistic, but
from everything I've seen, Andrew Kopp, Frank, and Panarin are playing.
Yeah.
So I think we're basically healthy.
Okay. Fair. I don't know. I think 5 is more realistic, just because Crosby and Malkin can still steal a game.
Oh, for sure. And I think they I think they recognize this is the last hurrah for the three of them will hang. Yeah, and the company. So
this might be it.
So I think they're going to try to get one. Yeah. I think it'll be interesting. Every game they've had this season, like we were 3-1 against the Penguins, and game 1 was a 1-0 game. So I mean, like it'll be interesting. I think 4 or 5, but probably 5. Sorry. That one's pretty. Yeah. I honestly am more excited for the Toronto Tampa series.
I think the heck. Okay. I think everyone is.
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty even.
I've been talking about this for weeks now with a lot of my friends from school and like around Toronto. And everyone's like, yeah, bring us the Bruins. And I go, how fucking weird is it that the best case scenario for the Leafs in round 1 is the Bruins?
I mean, yeah. Like it's the devil, man.
It's the devil, And yet the fact that their fate was in Toronto's hands in the last game of the season, they beat the Bruins, which was good. So they got the lead up, and Tampa got their win. So bring on the Tampa Bay Lightning. I actually might be going to game 3 or game 4.
Nice.
In Tampa. I'm going to be in Florida on Friday.
You might go?
I'm planning on it.
There you go.
I am planning on it.
Hockey.
The ironic part is my dad's a Lightning fan.
Weird.
So when I told him like, oh, hey, this is like Toronto's playing Tampa in the first round, and games 3 and 4 are going to be in Tampa. He immediately was like, okay, so we're getting tickets. I'm like,
fantastic. That was easy.
Okay, so there's a lot to talk about with the Tampa and Toronto series, because
where do you want to start?
I think we want to start with the series itself.
Well, it's
and I don't
7.
know. Yeah, it has to.
And a blue and white team will in fact win it.
Yes, they will. And the team that wins will have the letter T in their name.
I think you're onto something.
And the letter L in their name. I have reason to believe that. I believe that a team with a Canadian who went first overall in their draft, who is their captain, will win.
Good answer. I think a team with over 50 wins will win.
I think that's good. That's good. I think a team who has a player that at one point in their career scored 60 goals will win.
I think this is going to be a long series. I mean, it's an offense versus defense battle, which is weird to say with Tampa as a defensive team, but I would argue defensively they're more sound than the Leafs, and I would argue as of late the Toronto offense has been a little more vibrant.
Yeah, they definitely have. The Toronto offense is finally starting to show its true colors and like the depth is showing up everywhere, which is awesome. The Lions have made no sense sometimes, but you know what? Whatever. That's just how hockey goes.
Who's starting for the Leafs?
That's a great question. It's Jack Campbell.
Okay, because I was going to say Källgren looked a little rough the other week against the Lightning.
I love Erik Källgren. Has been cool. He's been fun to watch. I don't see him starting any games in this playoff.
It felt a little brave.
A little.
It's going to be interesting.
And the thing is, it's going to be Källgren as the backup.
Which Campbell are we going to get? Are we going to get All-Star Jack, or are we going to get
2022 Jack Campbell? That's a good question. We're not sure, and we will find out. I believe game 1 is tomorrow or Tuesday. So,
see, like that's the thing. There's one definite about this series.
Yes,
and it's a guy named Vasilevsky. It's like the only like either team's offense can go cold. The Lightning probably the better defense, but Toronto. Jack Campbell is a big question mark. He's either great or terrible, and then Vasilevsky is just very greatest goalie in the world.
I've heard he's good. Is that true? He has like a Vezina or something, and
then, he's pretty all right.
He won like a Conn Smythe award. What's that again?
Did you see the player award, the player like superlatives they did?
Yeah, I saw those.
Yeah, where it was like name one goalie to steal you a win.
It's Andrei Vasilevsky.
It was like 40% of the players voted that. It was wow, okay.
And no surprise. Like he's literally the best goalie in the fucking world right now.
Yeah, no, by it's
been
not
the best goalie for the last 3 years. There's no one better than him.
Yeah, it's
all things considered.
No, absolutely. Big Cat is the guy. You need a win.
Yeah,
he will literally leave it all on the line for you. Oh, yeah. Like it's incredible.
This is genuinely the series where I don't know what to think. And I am indifferent this time around because
you're a Detroit fan.
Exactly. I am a Detroit fan, obviously, because honestly, fuck the Leafs. I joked about this earlier today with my cousin, but he was asking like, "Oh, how do you think Tampa Toronto is going to go?" I said this: it's either going to be a sweep or the game is going to end in double overtime in Game 7, and I don't care who wins. They are going to kill each other. I have reason to believe it's going to be 7 for Tampa.
I'm gonna go with Tampa, and I'm literally going for just Vasilevsky.
Yeah,
and I feel like this is going to be when Jack Campbell is, he's going to end up having to be the guy who it falls on, and they're gonna run him out of town, and then the Leafs
like they've done with every goalie.
Yeah, and then they're big. Why doesn't anyone want to play here?
I wonder.
It's great.
Isn't it bad that the last big free agent goalie signing they had was Peter Mrazek? Yeah, not a great look. But here's something I do want to talk about, because like every other playoff team that's going in this year, there's only so much to lose for them. Like they get out of the first round, oh darn, or they get knocked out later on in the playoffs. Like, well, you did your best, and there's, just get ready for next year. Some teams have a little more problems, like cap space. So while they wouldn't blow up the entire team, they're probably going to have to make some moves. Minnesota is one of them where they're kind of cap strapped. Tampa obviously has been
and some of those cap trap teams that don't even make it in.
Eat a dick, Vegas. Eat a dick.
That was the most beautiful thing to watch.
I cannot. Okay, we'll get to Vegas. I kind of want to end this with Vegas because holy shit. But
that's fine. Or our season predictions.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh God. Right. We had Vegas winning the Pacific.
I have not opened those, by the way.
I know you haven't. Neither do I. I don't want to open them. I'm too scared, man. God,
right, let's wrap up this series. Yeah. And I'll pull those up.
I think it's going to be Tampa. As much as I see the dedication of Leaf fans around me, and like I appreciate how much they care and love for this team.
Care and love doesn't win series.
And the question that I've been hearing around town, I've been hearing on Sportsnet, and Steve's talked about it, and a few other people. I think Friedman has talked about it as well now at this point. Even if they lose in a valiant effort in 7 games, is this where they blow the team up?
No.
I don't think so.
I stand by my theory from last year, a couple of months ago, where it was, I honestly don't think they care. I genuinely don't. The fans care and the players care. Yeah. But I think there's a level of management that says, all right, the accounts are in the black.
Yep.
And that's what matters. We're selling jerseys. Like everything is cool.
Merch.
Like
Austin hit 60 goals. What else could we need in life?
Put that on a shirt and let's get it out the door.
Yeah. You know, like, okay, so the Leafs, those limited edition jerseys they did with Bieber.
No, those are dumb.
See, I like the black and blue color scheme. I like the regular Toronto Maple Leaf side of it. The other side is stupid, but in my opinion, but they literally sold out within about half an hour.
Did they really?
Yeah, I found out they were coming out. Like, I found out what day they were coming out. I go, okay, if I run to Real Sports, which is the apparel shop and also massive sports bar in Toronto, that's like right across the street from Scotiabank Arena. Like it takes me 10-15 minutes to get there from my apartment. So I was like, if I go around like say lunch, we'll finish lunch and then head over there, I might be able to grab a jersey.
I didn't know you wanted one. If I knew that, I would have grabbed you one in New York. Yeah, they had them at the NHL store.
I figured they did. I thought about it. See, I like the blue and black color scheme. That's the only reason I would have gotten it. But I just wanted to check it out anyways. And I asked, like, hey, do you guys like still have any of the jerseys left? And they go, no, we just sold the last one. They sold the last one about an hour ago. And I'm like, didn't you only open an hour ago? And they were like, yeah. They were gone as soon as possible.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
I've been seeing them all over town, so it doesn't surprise me. But I don't know. Part of me, see, the thing is, I think people are still thinking too much about the All or Nothing documentary that came out last year after the Montreal Canadiens collapse, where you see like a very pissed off Kyle Dubas being like, I don't know how much longer we can put up with this bullshit before we have to like make a major sacrifice. Dubas, who the look, dude, who are you kidding right now? You're not gonna make a major move.
Well, hold up. What are you gonna say? Like, we're gonna sacrifice a $10 million contract. You can't do that. No one will take it.
No one's gonna.
The only tradable player is Nylander because he's the cheapest. But even then, he hasn't been up in his production enough to justify his contract.
Yeah. He's been fine. He's still good. William Nylander is a good player.
So how to retain? Which it's like,
yeah, like. The problem with trading, say, like, the only of the big boys, like the big contracts on that team, I think everyone, even though Marner has had a pretty good season this year, he's shooting more, which is good. He's actually scoring goals. He's still an incredible playmaker. That's fine, right? But it's not. For some reason, people just assume that, like, oh yeah, we trade Marner, we're going to get all these things back. Are you sure about that? Sure, a lot of teams would love to have a winger like Mitch Marner to set up some incredible fucking centers and whatnot in the league. But Marner is expensive. And what it would cost alone to acquire him, no team is willing to give that up.
Well, and Austin will be very angry.
Yeah, exactly. And you're going to have a very angry Austin Matthews.
Like, honestly, I'm not even joking, and I'm kind of joking, but I'm not joking because we're still in our Arizona, Austin Matthews Arizona. Yeah, because that's apparently a thing that we believe in. I mean, honestly, I could see that more likely than Marner getting traded.
Yeah.
Every player has a price. That's all I'm gonna say. Every player has a price. Like McDavid has a price.
Yep.
It's high, but it's a price.
McDavid's price would be basically give up your entire team for the sake of one McDavid. Yeah.
I don't want to sound like an old guy, but Gretzky was traded.
Yeah, but as we all know, Gretzky was traded because Peter Pocklington was broke.
Yeah, I mean, but the point being, like,
no.
Everyone has a price.
Everyone does have a price, And I think the thing with the Leafs now is you have William Nylander, who's making more than $8 million. You have Morgan Rielly, whose extension is going to kick in next year, where he's making, I think, $8 million.
I forgot he was a person.
Mm-hmm. You have Austin, who's making 10, and then you have Johnny T, who's making like 12 and a half or 11. I think it is 11 point something.
You have your numbers wrong.
I do.
Nylander's getting 7, just shy of 7.
Thank God.
So that's why I said he's the most tradable.
Yeah. Morgan's making how much? Is it not 8? Or is it 6?
Morgan Rielly is making a beautiful 7.5.
Okay, good. Yeah, I do have my numbers wrong today. Damn.
Jake Muzzin is 5.625.
Going into next season?
He's got that for 2 more years and this year.
Oh my God. Okay.
And then TJ Brody's getting $5 million a year.
5, 10, 17, 24.
Mitchell is making
Mitchell makes 11
10.9.
10.9. Their numbers are so weird. Their contract numbers are so fucking strange.
Johnny, because they have to make it work, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Johnny T's at 11. And Austin is at 11.64.
That is
a lot of money.
Yeah.
And as of right now, the only goalie they will have signed for next season is Eric Shalgren.
No, Mrazek.
Forgot about Petey. He's getting $4 million, and he's been a joke.
And he's been a joke. And
he has a no trade clause.
And he's signed for 3 years. Yeah, a modified no trade clause, signed for 3 years. Like, oh man, you know what? Like,
you gotta love it. You gotta love it.
How do I explain this? When they announced that they were signing Peter Mrazek, as usual, I was really like, dude, I think I was working or something that day, so I didn't hear the news. But a friend of mine texted me and went, LOL, we signed your former boy. How do you feel about that? I go, which one? Jonathan Bernier? He goes, no. It's like, okay, Jimmy Howard's retired. It's not Bernier. Jonas Gustafsson isn't playing anymore. He's been done for years. I was thinking, like, who the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, who is this? I'm like, who's my friend talking about? And then I realized, like, he can't be talking about Mrazek, is he? So I text him, who? Mrazek? And he goes, yeah, we got your former boy. There's no way we lose now. And I responded with the following. Kyle Dubas is an idiot. Yep. And I said, what's the contract? And he said, oh, it's 3 years, no 3 years, no move. And I was like, you guys are gonna regret that almost immediately. And he was like, LOL, why? Wasn't he good? I'm like, yeah, for like 5 minutes.
Oh, God.
My favorite thing I've ever seen on hockey Twitter came earlier this year when someone was talking about how so basically the joke was made of like, oh, someone told me Leafs games aren't that exciting. Are you kidding? Peter Mrazek goes on Dora the Explorer level adventures.
Oh, I saw that. That was funny. That was so funny,
man. And the thing is, like, he's always done this though. Peter Mrazek is one of the most ironically and unironically aggressive goaltenders in the league, and he's not good.
He's aggressive and stupid.
He's not good at being aggressive because he's just aggressive and stupid. And for what I love too about Toronto fans is they're like, well, we have Peter Mrazek. He'll be fine. It's okay. He gets like a little too aggressive. And then he gets hurt like 50 times in a season. And they're like, why does he get hurt so much? And I had to remind people. I was like, hey, can I remind you guys something? They're like, what? I'm like, do you remember how David Ayers happened in the first place? It's because Mrazek tried to play the puck like 5 feet out of the net on the board. He was gonna try to dish it down center ice and got snapped in the head by Kyle Clifford.
It's so funny.
All because Peter Mrazek wanted to be fucking Peter Mrazek.
It's so funny.
And the fact that he's injured again, not playing in the playoffs, is just it's sweet irony to me. And it makes me feel better about myself when Mrazek was out of Detroit. Because as bummed as I was back then, I was a lot younger, obviously.
I remember.
Like, yeah, and I remember, like, I was like, I look back at it now, I go, you know what?
Yep.
Yeah.
He wasn't special.
No. He was okay. He was solid at best. He was nothing like elite. But yeah, so the Toronto Maple Leafs. Okay, Tyler, I have a question for you.
And then we usually answers.
Yeah.
Or let's do our standings, then we'll do Vegas.
Yeah. So finishing off the conversation of the Toronto and Tampa series, who has more pressure going in?
Well, I mean, you have the back-to-back champs.
Yeah.
Who have done it. So, if they don't do it this year, it's like, well,
yeah,
we did the last two. It's all right.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
Where, dude, Tampa could just show up and literally freaking Stamkos could have a beer before the game and he'd be fine. Where Toronto has to think about wow, we've been kind of the laughing stock for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
And we finally don't have the Boston first round exit excuse again.
Yeah.
They didn't have it with the bubble, but now it's okay, now it's for real. This is the full, not that they're from this is a full 82 game season. That's where I also think Carolina isn't a guaranteed. That's why I actually kind of think Boston might have it. It's full 82 game season. It's a full honest to God playoffs, full travel, everything. Full stadiums. It's a barn. You're going to the opposing team's barn.
Exactly.
We're going back to how it was. Yep. It's gonna be hard, and there's a lot of pressure on Toronto to win. And they were the second seed. They have home ice.
No,
that they've done it. They almost they were close to first. I'll give it.
They got close. Yeah, they got pretty close. But this is where everybody, Toronto media, Toronto sports fans, everybody needs to sit down and acknowledge there is no coulda, woulda, shoulda anymore. Okay. Could've was 2019. Would've was 2020. Should have was last year.
And the thing I will say is if they would buy in, the fact that they haven't done this, but if they bought in, and we've talked about this before many times over the years, when you're a team, you have to establish, are you going to be a defense team?
Yep.
Them.
No.
Are you going to be a goaltending based team? Hank Shesterkin. Or are you going to be an offense team? Washington,
Colorado.
Leave.
Yeah.
You have to pick one, and then you kind of prioritize where you're going to put your money.
Yep.
But you always have your first realm of what's going to be your icon. They picked offense.
They did.
Which is weird to me because after the first two lines, it's kind of a joke.
I'd say they're up to their third line. Yeah,
they have. I'll give them that.
But their third line.
They haven't fixed any other holes though. You have to have the one, but then Taylor in the second part, and they haven't done that.
Yeah,
and it's not good for playoffs, but they'll be fine. It'll be an interesting series. Yeah. They will score. They will score as they've been doing the last 6 games of the season. They've been putting up some numbers.
Yeah. But I think we can all agree. All the pressure right now is on Toronto because you have to. This has to be the year where you have to tell yourself they have to make it out of the first round. The problem is that you got the final boss in the first round. You got the big, scary raid boss that just finished winning back-to-back Stanley Cups.
The problem is this. Let's say they do it. They defy the odds. Let's even give it a magical moment. They sweep them.
Oh. Ooh,
Magical
okay.
highlight.
They're definitely losing in 7 now.
Highlight reel moment. They sweep them.
Mm-hmm.
There they are. Matthews is throwing his shit. Campbell's
Yeah.
there. All right. They got it.
Yeah.
You have to walk in to Florida.
Yep.
Or God forbid Washington has to do it. Like, then it's just like you have to stop Ovechkin, which like Florida can do.
Yeah.
Any other team this year can do it except for the Leafs.
Yeah. And then worst case scenario is even if they somehow miraculously do beat Tampa, which is a possibility. Not a big possibility.
Let's say they get through Tampa. Let's say they got through the entire state of Florida. They did it.
Yeah, but
you have to play the Bruins, Carolina, New York, or Pittsburgh.
Yep. Yep. This Leafs team, depending on their trajectory, kind of reminds me of the trajectory of the 2002 Maple Leafs, where they made it all the way to the Eastern Finals. They did really well up until then, and then just got gassed against Carolina.
I mean, like they can't do they can't do it.
I don't know. I genuinely don't.
They just can't.
This is great. Dangle during the pandemic did like an LFR of old Leafs games, of past Leafs playoff games, just for fun, you know. And one of them was a game in, I believe it was the second round of the 2002 playoffs. And he was like, "Yeah, they won." It's like, that was cool. And someone asked him the question of, do you think that team had what it took to win the cup? And Steve was honest. He said, here's the thing. They were a good team, but no, because they got gassed in the Eastern Finals against Carolina. And God forbid that Maple Leafs team had to go against the 2002 Detroit Red Wings. It's imminent defeat. You're not, accept defeat now. That was the same situation they have here. If they beat Tampa, congratulations. You pushed through and you finally did it. Now say hello to the Florida Panthers.
Yeah. I mean,
you know,
here's the thing. I'm going to pull up one category, and this already just solidifies our argument, and we can be done with it.
Okay.
Goals against.
Oh, no.
Carolina. I'm going to give you the whole East. So just
Carolina has the lowest goals against in the entire league.
I'm going to give you the goals against for the playoff teams.
Yeah, okay.
First place, Carolina, 202 goals against.
That is fucking insanity.
Second place by 5.
Oh,
by the way, the New York Rangers.
Makes sense. Yeah.
We have the fucking Russian wall. Okay. Third place, 220. Any guesses?
220 goals against this season. Let's see, playoff teams.
And I think it's what makes them a dark horse against Carolina is the fact that they actually didn't give up as many goals as people thought they did.
Is it actually the Bruins?
It is actually the Bruins. Which is actually kind of crazy when you think it's not actually that far back. It's 18 goals, which like that's a lot, but it's not like that much.
Not that much
in the grand scheme of things. So they're third. Fourth is actually Pittsburgh. But that was with a healthy Jari, who was a NHL All-Star, let's not forget. And currently he's not healthy. Then it's Tampa.
Okay.
This is where it gets bizarre. Then it's Washington.
Okay.
Then it's Florida.
What's Florida at?
246. Washington's at 245. So I mean, it's a joke, but like,
damn. Then again, Florida's goals for isn't it like 300 something?
Yeah, they are quite literally like almost 65. They are actually 65 more than Washington for reference in that category. So yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the kicker that the Leafs are last at 253.
Oh.
And that now I'll give it to them. They are definitely the second highest in scoring. But historically, that's never got you a playoff. Like that's never won a series.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I can name iconic moments from the past 10 years where a goalie has done or a defenseman has done something absolutely insane in the playoffs or a Stanley Cup win.
Yep.
And I can't tell you a moment where like it was the goal, like the Holtby save.
Yeah.
Fuck all the shit Washington. The Holtby save was the one thing that people remember.
Yep.
And that's it.
Save. You have.
I remember the iconic image of Binnington just throwing his glove. Yep, that's a beautiful moment where he just throws it at the end of the series. He's just like, I did it.
Yep.
Tim Thomas being absolutely electric, like
Jonathan Quick, Corey Crawford.
2014 is probably the only one where it actually is the Martinez moment, but like everything else is it's usually
2014 everyone remembers because of Alec Martinez.
Who's a defenseman?
Yeah, exactly. It's a fucking defenseman. Like the last time a forward made a big
Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane was the one.
Yeah, that's it. Which is
that's it.
Hilarious that it's been 12 years since. And every year since has been either a goalie or a defenseman that made the difference. You know,
it's stupid.
So I guess I think moral of the story is we're in for a very good time with that series. I think I think that
I'm kidding.
Yeah, honestly, fuck it.
Honestly,
it's.
I just want to.
I think this is definitely going to be like the series like to watch for everybody.
Oh yeah, it's going to be the most fun.
It's definitely.
If you're a Leafs fan, it's going to
hurt.
Yeah, it's going to hurt a lot. If it's not a Leafs fan, you're going to enjoy it. And if you're a Lightning fan, you're going to crack a beer and make a snack and just watch and say, well, we win. Oh, well, great. If we lose, well, we got two.
Yeah, exactly. And if you do win the first round, you go, okay, cool, time to polish the cup up again.
Yeah, great. Yeah, it's that simple.
Yeah. Oh man, the playoffs are gonna be so fucking.
If wild. The Leafs, this is my question.
Okay.
Let's say Leafs lose. Well,
sure.
Because it's us, and we just are assuming.
Yeah,
who do you fire? Because you're gonna someone has to be the scapegoat. Is it gonna be Binnington, or do you think they're actually gonna fire someone?
Binnington.
Or not, oh my lord, Campbell.
So Campbell's a free agent at the end of the season.
Is he going to be the scapegoat to save the coach and the GM, or do you think they're actually going to fire someone?
In my honest opinion, one of the following two people should probably go. Their names are not Sheldon Keefe or Jack Campbell. Because the thing is with Campbell is a free agent, and he, despite his very, very bad start to the second half of this season, did make the All-Star team. And that helps his case for a very, not insane, but fun contract. Probably not with the Leafs, because the Leafs won't have the money.
This is the only thing I kind of like Jack Campbell, so I'm actually going to defend him.
No.
I
think Jack Campbell's great, but the Leafs don't have the money to keep Jack.
The other problem with that is this. If you are Jack Campbell, you can pull up that beautiful standings page that I put up with the goals for and goals against, and you can turn to do this and say, look, your goals against was 253. The one game was like what? 8 or 9 Schalgren let in against Tampa?
8.
Okay. That brings it down to 245.
Yep.
Mrazek hasn't been exactly stellar.
So even just 7 goals that were let in between Mrazek and Campbell from that weird Detroit game. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you let him say like 5 from there. So yeah.
But like the thing is, they're not that far back once you add that. Like once you take that Schalgren game away, like they're right there with Florida and Washington.
Yeah.
And like that's the thing. You can start whittling away if you start adding in numbers. And it's like he still had some bad moments.
They kind of had to scapegoat Schalgren just so they could rest Jack.
And it's like, look, it's like he hasn't been like, is he elite? No. Was he a starter? Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. But where I'm going with this is, I think there's 2 people that the Leafs should look at to part ways with, if you will. And like I said, their names are not Sheldon Keefe or Jack Campbell. I don't think Sheldon is going to get fired. This is his first full season as the Leafs head coach. like full 82 game season, and he did a perfectly fine job.
Or second place.
Yeah, they are second place in the East. Minus the weird fucking losses here and there and the random, we have a massive lead and then somehow blew it in the third. That's just the Leafs. That's not Sheldon Keefe's fault in the slightest. I don't think it is.
I think Kyle goes.
The two names. Okay, so here's the two names I have in mind. One of them is everyone's favorite Sault Ste. Marie boy, Kyle Dubas. Did you know that he used to work for the Sioux? And did you know that for some reason every player he gets that's a free agent played at one point for the Sioux? Crazy.
I didn't notice that, but now that bothers me.
No, literally, most free agent signings he's made over the last like 3 years have been like at one point at a time in those people's careers, they were Sioux Greyhounds.
We really need to just spend like 2 hours just full blown Leafs like analysis for the past 5 years.
Because it makes no sense to me.
We've put way too much thought into this. That's the problem.
We have, yeah. Like we got to do one for Vegas. We got to do one for the Leafs.
The Leafs is like a personal vendetta.
It is. It really is. And I can't like. Oh my god. Anyways, the other name I have in mind is Brendan Shanahan.
I don't think either of those are wrong answers.
No, they're not.
That's not who's going to go. That's the problem. That's not who's going to fall.
It's who's going to go. Yeah.
If they're stupid, they're going to panic fire Keefe.
I know. That's the problem. They're going to be, if they're dumb.
Why is that the problem? Look down at your chest there, dude.
Yeah. Well. God, I'm so happy he's gone.
Dude, you could be in a great spot.
Actually, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Sheldon Keefe is head coach of the. Oh my god, Sheldon Keefe coaching Moritz Seider and Lucas Raymond and Philip Zadina.
You need to become the most diehard Lightning fan. That's all I'm telling you for the next like 2 weeks.
I like this idea. But like more than likely, unfortunately, I think Keefe might be the scapegoat.
Yeah, he will be.
Because
Campbell.
Yeah. It's not going to be any of the big names. And if it's anybody that's not Campbell or Keefe, it might be someone random, like I don't know, like fucking Jake Muzzin or something.
Yeah.
It's going to be someone random. But
it can't possibly be their 4 most paid players. It can't possibly.
Have a collective 1 point in the last 2 playoff series. Crazy. As far as who's going to take the fall, I think, unfortunately, I think it might be Jack, but he's going to be a free agent anyway, so he walks. Some team's going to pick him up, and he'll be, a lot better there. Maybe, I think. As to who should get canned, I think it's about time Kyle Dubas takes a hike. I think it's time.
I think it's been time for a while, but yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. I like for every we need to
to just sit down and do a Leafs episode. It's just gonna be so much better.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I don't even know if 2 hours is enough time, to be totally honest.
I don't think it is. But if we're doing that, I'm calling parts. But
we're calling everyone.
We're calling I think if anyone has to see, okay, so I have my arguments for Brendan Shanahan to get canned because he's been team president now since like literally the Babcock, like the beginning of the Babcock era. And they have still not made it past the first round. He has, as far as, staff hiring, Lou left and they brought in Kyle because Kyle was always Brendan's plan.
Which is fine.
That's fine. But it's what happened after the fact where Kyle had a little too much power as GM to just start, being held hostage by his own players to make sure that they were signed to lucrative contracts or, signing Peter Mrazek.
Here's my question. I don't remember when Dubas took over.
It was
I know when it was, but I don't remember, I didn't care enough to follow it. Was he sought after by their teams, or was it kind of like the Leafs, like what had him as their diamond?
He was their guy. He was the Leafs guy.
But no one else like caught about him?
No, not that I know of.
That's where this gets interesting, but that's a whole other thing.
Dubas's whole thing is the same thing with Sheldon Keefe. So Dubas's whole thing was he was GM for the Sioux Greyhounds for a while, and then they won a championship. And then because the Sioux Greyhounds are the ECH affiliate for the Leafs, MLSE was like, "Hey, Kyle, we want you to manage the Marlies." So they brought Kyle over to the Marlies to be their GM. A couple years later, they got Sheldon Keefe, who was head coach of the Sioux, to then go to the Marlies because he was Kyle Dubas's boy. Right? And the whole plan was that Lou was going to help put the team together with whatever they needed. And then Lou was going to go and they were going to bring Kyle in. They didn't care what else happened in between. All they knew is that Kyle is the plan.
But the question is, did other teams look at him?
I don't think so.
See, that's like the weird thing. And I know you don't like me talking about the Rangers, but I'm going to briefly chime in.
That's fine.
When we fired everyone because Tom Wilson, that was the part of it. But the other part of it was Chris Drury was getting scouted by the Penguins, the Flyers, and 2 other teams. Mm-hmm. And we wanted him to be our GM.
Right.
So the timing also worked out that, hey, they didn't agree with us quick. Actually, this is a great opportunity to bring Chris in as like the job he actually wants to be a GM. Yeah. So that's very interesting that Kyle was not actually that sought after.
Not that I know of is the thing. It's not that I'm for certain that he wasn't sought after. I just don't know. And it's the same thing with Keefe. Seriously, it's the same. Sheldon's not a bad coach by any
dude, I would love Sheldon Keefe as a coach.
I would love Sheldon Keefe as a coach, but it's the fact that no matter I don't understand how the inner workings of the Leafs functioned in that time when they had Babcock signed to that fucking ridiculous contract because they thought he was going to be the one to bring them to the promised land. And when he got canned, they didn't waste any time. They didn't say Sheldon Keefe was interim head coach. They said Sheldon Keefe is the new full-time head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Keefe was always part of the plan.
But the thing is, when you guys...
The baffling thing is, and hold on, here's the thing, is when you look at the hierarchy and you look at how everything's worked, like this is like my tinfoil hat conspiracy, is that Kyle Dubas wanted all of this to happen.
Interesting.
Because I don't think this is a Brendan Shanahan plan. This isn't a Shanahan plan kind of thing. Because his plan would be get a good GM and then build up the team from there. But Kyle had this plan for years. Him and Sheldon Keefe have been working together for a long ass time.
It's very interesting.
Dating back to the Sioux.
It's actually very interesting.
It's really weird. It's
Babcock.
Really weird.
Back to Babcock for a minute.
Sure.
When you won the cup, you being the Red Wings, because you're red.
Of course.
You had defense.
We had Nicholas Lidstrom, yes.
But that's
a very good defensive end. Yeah.
Love or hate Babcock, you had defense.
Yep.
And this is the stupid Washington Capitals. We're firing Trotz.
Yeah.
Wait. We're firing... Who the hell was the guy? Who was the guy who was there for 20 minutes who I thought was a joke? He was there for a season.
In Washington?
Yeah. Oh man, it's gonna bother me. Doesn't matter. He was bad after Trotz. He was the guy who was like Trotz's assistant. They brought him in. Anyway, Todd Reardon.
Oh my God, Todd Reardon. Ew.
Yeah, that was bad. That was like the year after the fire Trotz. Then they got Peter Laviolette.
Yep.
Why would you get a defensive based coach who has a strong defensive, like you need strong defensemen to play a Peter Laviolette system?
Yep.
And you're going to trust John Carlson and Nick Dowd?
Yeah,
Nick Jensen.
Nick Jensen, not Nick Dowd. Yeah. Odd.
Yeah. Very bizarre.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
And looking back at it, like Keefe, part of me has reason to believe that Keefe was always the plan because all the Marlies guys got called up just around the same time and made it at a training camp just around the same time. So something tells me that they didn't care about development with an older, like veteran-minded coach. They wanted development with a coach that already knew them, and that coach was Sheldon because he won the Calder Cup with them in 2018.
But that's not a good thing. You want other perspectives and other people to help mentor you, and you're supposed to take.
You want other, there. Okay, I'm gonna quickly. This is gonna get weird, but I'm gonna relay this in comparison to in argument that was made in esports actually not too long ago. So in the League of Legends esports scene, there's an organization, Cloud9. They're very, very well known for like a lot of things, but they're also known to do very, very weird fucking shit. So they announced in the off season that they were hiring this individual who has been known for his like in-depth analysis on the game, and like probably one of the smartest minds in the game, who goes by the nickname of LS. Like everyone loves him. He has mentored countless numbers of pros to get where they are today. He is out in Korea. He's been working as an analyst for like some of the biggest organizations in Korea, including former world champions. So Cloud9 announces we're going to be hiring LS as our new coach. And we have built this team around his thinking. He is the one that told us I want you to get these players and have the starting roster for me ready when I get back to the States for the season. They fired him after 2 weeks, having a 3-1 record. And their supposed reasoning for firing him was, we here at Cloud9 have a system that we follow and abide by that has done very well for us, and LS did not want to fit our system. If you're going to put all your faith into a head coach, you are following that man's system, and stop fucking complaining. Do you think Brad Treliving and the fucking owners of the Calgary Flames, do you think they love the fact that Daryl Sutter's press conferences sound like he's putting you to sleep?
No, absolutely. They don't give a shit.
No,
they're winning.
Don't. They're winning, and they're following Sutter's system to a T. Yeah. Why? He's won 2 Stanley Cups with that system. It's worked.
Yeah.
So for Sheldon, and I love Sheldon Keefe. I love him as a person. I love him as a coach. He's such a cool dude. For him to come in to a team that had no structure to their system whatsoever, because I don't know how to tell people this when they still don't understand about why the Babcock stuff didn't work, despite everything that happened after the fact. When people are like, oh, but Babcock won a cup in 08. Do people forget that the following names were on that Red Wings team? Chris Osgood.
I love Chris.
I love Chris Osgood. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
Mike Vernon and Chris Osgood are like 2 of my favorites. I don't know why.
Darren McCarty was on that team. Good old fucking Red Wings legend, Darren McCarty.
Oh yeah.
Some dude by the name of Henrik Zetterberg. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Quite possibly one of the most
absolute scrub.
Just total scrap, right? There's this other Russian guy. Oh, what's his name? Pavel Datsuk.
He was okay.
He was okay, right? Yeah. Arizona legend, Pavel. That breaks my heart. I can't say that. What am I saying? I can't say that. And quite possibly the greatest defenseman of all time in Nick Lidstrom. There was a reason that Red Wings.
No, Adam Fox likes him.
Yeah. There's a reason that Red
Wings useless fun fact
won the Stanley Cup. Babcock works well with veterans. And he had literally some of the best players in the world on that Red Wing squad. And so what did you expect for him to go to the Leafs working with children?
Also, the game has changed a lot. Yeah. It just has. That's a fact. Yeah. Also, fun fact here, this has been one of the highest scoring NHL seasons in recent history.
I saw, yeah. I read that recently. Which is awesome. It was really awesome to hear. Yeah.
Yes.
But it's still just, at the end of the day, I think this is where Dubas meets his end with the Leafs. It has to be. It's him or Shanahan.
Dubas is not. I really feel like he was it worked in juniors. It worked in the AHL. Yeah. It worked in the NHL. It's different.
Yeah,
it's a different beast. It's like when what the hell? Why am I drawing a blank? Urban Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
And the NFL just didn't work. It's like, well, they're college, like it worked in college. It's like, yeah,
but
dude,
it's
like
not going to work in the
it's not
NFL.
gonna work with like these. Like, it's not kids who you can hold scholarships over anymore. It's like these are professionals. Like these guys want to like win because they want to win. This has been their childhood dream, and they're getting paid to do it. They're getting paid to win games.
But
and you're supposed to be the person to guide them to win the games.
Even when Buffalo hired Ralph Kruger, remember that weird stint he had where they were like, he's gonna help us, he's a coach. Yeah, didn't he coach like soccer?
Yep.
That's not hockey. I don't know how to
well,
tell you that.
It's fair. I love John Cooper. This is like my closet thing I like to keep to myself. I really do love John. I love John Cooper. I am fascinated with this man.
He is one of the smartest minds in the NHL, despite having no coaching experience when he got hired.
It's so great. Great. But that was one of his interviews. He was like, look, they're adults, they're professionals. Yeah. The talent's here. He's like, I don't have to coach. I'm a people manager. Yeah. And it's like, wow. Yeah, it's really all it is. And like, I was like, even something like Galana said, it's like, look, like, I'm a guide.
Yep. Even when
that's all it is.
With the firing of Jeff Blashill, the letting go of Jeff Blashill, he wasn't fired. They just didn't renew his contract. I shouldn't say he was fired, but everyone now is talking about.
It was the polite firing.
Yeah, it was the polite firing of Jeff Blashill. It was the about fucking.
Hey, your contract's up. Doors over there.
Bye. Get all your stuff. Leave. Of course, now every Red Wings fan is going nuts. We're trying to figure out, okay, who is it? Who's gonna be? Who's the next coach? Is it gonna be Igor Larionov? Not anymore, because he just signed a deal with a team in the K, so he's gonna be in the KHL. Sergei Fedorov just won the KHL championship. Maybe we could get Sergei back. Despite the Red Wings organization
you gotta wait for the first round end. Someone will panic fire.
Oh yeah.
This is you're gonna luck out very well here.
The other option was Ricard Gromborg, the Team Sweden coach.
I love him.
He's great. He could be good. Not to mention he's been coaching a lot of the Red Wings prospects because, like, again, every few years it happens where the entire prospect pool happens to be Swedish. So we're good. We're chilling. But yeah, we're trying to figure that out. Man, if the Leafs panic fire Keefe, oh my god, I hope Steve just picks him up right down there.
My ultimate hope for you all / Nashville, if they decide to not keep Hines, which would be a brilliant move, would be if Boston just decides for some stupid reason that this is the coach they're not going to spend too much time on and fire Cassidy.
Oh, Bruce Cassidy would be nice.
Oh, Bruce Cassidy is just like, he's like, yes.
But there was a tweet I saw earlier today from I think it was either Max Bultman of The Athletic or someone else, maybe Sean Dyer, but they were talking about how Steve Yzerman's history of hiring coaches with zero coaching experience happens to be the guy that just won back-to-back cups.
True.
So you know what? If there's anything we can do, it's trust in Steve.
Exactly.
Yeah. On that note,
so let's review our standings.
I think it's standings time because it's time to
cry.
We were happy for a second, and now it's time to be sad.
Okay, let's start with the Pacific as we did so many years ago. All right, so I'll give our top four, and then I'll give the actual top four.
Please go from 4 to 1.
We had, you're gonna love this, Canucks.
They came close.
They were fifth. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, they're actually only 2 points back. So
yeah,
good on. This is where we really fucked up. Seattle.
Oh god,
who finished last with 60 points. Then we had the Oilers 2, which we got right.
We didn't have Calgary in the top 4.
No, we had them at 5. But hey, we got the Oilers right. We got the fucking Oilers right. And then we had Vegas at 1, which was just. To be fair, I definitely said Leonard was garbage, and we, for some reason, still had faith.
I I think we had faith in the fact that we knew in advance that Vegas was going to get Jack Eichel, and we thought that was going to make a difference. It did. They didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah. DeBoer is still a shitty coach, which
yes,
yeah,
not shocking.
Oversight on us. So I guess it takes us to the Central because let's just hate ourselves even more.
Okay.
We really fucked this one up. Actually, it wasn't terrible. It just wasn't great. I'm gonna do the.
Remember. I have a weird feeling. I think the top two we got. Oh no, we had Minnesota at 2.
I'll give you the full bottom of the Pacific for shits and giggles. We had Sharks.
Okay.
Who finished in 6th in real life? We had them at 8th. The Ducks we had at 7. We were good.
Ducks were okay.
We had the Kings at 6th,
which they finished 3rd. So
yeah. We had the Flames at 5,
which they finished 1st.
And then obviously 4 Canucks, 3 Kraken, 2 Oilers, and 1 Knights, which was just not
bad.
Not right.
Not good. Yeah.
All right. So on the Central, we got right in the bottom. We got Coyotes in last.
Of course.
We had the Stars in 7th.
Oh.
It only gets worse from here.
I know it does. That means Chicago's somewhere in the top 5. Or did
which I remember
6?
We had. We'll get there. We had the Stars at 7, and they finished 4th. We had the Blues at 6, and they finished 3.
Uh-oh.
We had the Preds at 5, and they actually finished at 5.
Oh no.
We actually had the Preds right, which means we had the Blackhawks at 4, which they obviously finished in 7th.
They were bad. The Blackhawks have been bad.
You're missing the worst one. The Wild we had at 3. They got 2. Good on us.
2. Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
We had the Jets doing a lot better than they did.
Oh yeah.
They finished in 6th, and we had them at 2. And then we had the Avs winning, which good on us.
That shouldn't shock anybody.
Now the East we did a lot better in.
Oh, thank God.
So the Atlantic.
Okay.
We had Sabres in last. They actually got 5th.
They actually did, yeah. Which is
we had the Sens at 7.
Once they finished in 7. Red Wings finished 6th.
Yeah, we actually had that as well.
Yeah, I know Detroit finished 6th. So.
Then we had Montreal at 5. We were also banking on Price.
We were banking on Price. And you know who didn't bank on Price? The Montreal Canadiens.
Exactly. But we had all the teams right in the bottom. So like good on us. Yeah. Just the Sabres and Montreal flop. We had the Leafs at 4.
Okay. Well, they finished at 2, so
we had the Spencer Knights at 3.
Oh. The Bruins at 2?
We had the Bruins at 2. And we had Tampa at 1. So we had the teams kind of right in that one.
We had the 4 playoff teams. It's just
and the 4 non-playoff teams. Yeah, okay. And then the East, you're a bastard because I remember fighting you on this one. The Devils, Devils had we put them in the last, and they
finished. Did they not finish
7th
in the measure?
They finished 7th.
Okay.
We had the Blue Jackets in 7th, and they actually finished 6th.
Okay.
And then we had the Flyers at 6th, and they finished 8th. So I mean, not bad.
So no, we got
this is where we screwed up.
Yeah.
We had the Caps at 5, and that was actually the Islanders.
Yeah.
We had the Penguins at 4, and they actually finished 3rd. Now, actually, this is where it gets weird. 5, 4, 3, 2. We actually were right if we moved them up 1.
That's so fucking odd.
Yeah, because we had Caps, Pens, Rangers, Canes, but then we had the Islanders in the top spot when they should have been 5th.
They should have been 5th, yeah.
But yeah, I
remember. I do remember fighting you on who should have been first.
We fought very hard on this one.
Yes.
But man, that was good. We actually weren't as bad as I thought we were. We had some right answers, and then we had a lot of wrong answers.
Yeah, man. And it goes to show how just like, I know, with the East, it's just like the teams all killing each other, trying to figure out who's going to be in what spot. But then you look at the West and like how ridiculously dumb the Western Conference is, because you just have like teams were killing each other to the wire as usual. Like the point differences are close in the Pacific. Just how dumb that division is, right? But at the end of the day, eek. Well, we didn't get everything wrong. So that's the bright side, I think.
Yeah, we were kind of right-ish.
We're kind of right. Do you want to do Vegas?
I was gonna say we spent an hour and a half on this.
Good. I think we should call for the night.
We should call it for the night.
Yeah.
Call an audible, and then we'll do a Vegas and Toronto episodes
soon
in the off season.
All I'm gonna say about Vegas is it was about time.
It's been very funny. Between trading an all-star goalie for pennies to get back at him, and firing a winning coach because he simply just didn't get it done fast enough. Beautiful maneuvers.
Oh and just
really top tier stuff.
Notch. Yep.
And then now being in cap hell, you really outdid yourselves. Welcome to the NHL.
Yeesh.
Seattle's doing it right, honestly.
Seattle is doing right. I think I think we had too high hopes for them, all things considered, because of Vegas. But
I think they saw the situation Vegas put themselves in and said, we should not do that.
Yeah, they were smart to do that. They were smart to be a proper building team rather than we need to win literally right the fuck now team.
Yeah. Also, good news to part on. This will be a fun parting note.
Okay.
Mark Scheifele has informed the Jets, I want to see what you do before I sign a contract.
I saw that clip of the press conference right before we started recording and went, ooh, that's fun.
Shiny. I want.
Yeah.
You want.
Having a Mark Scheifele.
Everyone wants.
Exactly. That'd be nice, don't you think? That'd be very nice.
All right. So in the future, we'll do a round 2 and we'll see how utterly terribly wrong we were on this.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll do round 1. Or no, we'll do
round 3.
Round 3, and then we'll do the finals.
Yep.
And then we'll do Toronto and Vegas specials and have Parse and everyone else in it, and we'll talk about how lovely they are.
Yep.
Fantastic. Well,
this should be amusing.
Yeah.
This might actually, you know what? Like, I am genuinely really looking forward to this year's playoffs.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to be shit hitting the fan everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. It could go, and there's no winning, there's no losing. Like, it's gonna be a great year.
The only winners here are the fans that are in the neutral side of things right now, just watching everyone kill each other.
Yeah, and meanwhile, I have just high anxiety and blood pressure, and to playoffs start now. It's actually Monday now for me.
It is Monday, yeah.
Oh shit. So, well, Tuesday is gonna be hell.
So here we go. On that note, this has been Up the Boards, and I'm Yusuf.
I'm Tyler.
And man, this is
go these guys, fun. Good people.
Yeah, go them. Go
honestly, go Tampa. Yeah, you want Tampa.
Go Tampa.
You want it.
Go Tampa.
Go Boston.
All right. We'll see you guys in the second round, I guess. I
Adios.
hope. Maybe. I don't know. Let's find out.